Hello. Different mic. My name is Eli Woody. I'm running for State House District 33, which includes Kansas City, Kansas, around the Legends area, Bonner Springs, Edwardsville, and a little bit of Turner. So even if you don't live in that district right now, you might know someone who does live in that district. A little bit about me: I'm a new dad, I'm a husband, I'm a former public school teacher, and really my time in the classroom is what led me to sitting where I am right now. Because especially the last couple of years teaching, I realized there are obstacles that are keeping my students from succeeding. And it was things like access to transportation, and access to food, and access to healthcare. And at home, income inequality was an issue because mom or dad or whoever at home was working 2 or 3 jobs and couldn't help during homework time. I decided I wanted to get to a place where I could actually impact change on those things. Because in the classroom, I could only respond to them. I could keep peanut butter crackers in my drawer if my kids were hungry. I could excuse them from being tardy because they missed all 7 of their buses and had to walk. But I couldn't impact change on those things as a teacher. And I will in the State House. And in the State House, I plan to be the representative for everyone in this district, not just those who align themselves with my party. Because right now, our current representative only fights for his party, and he only does what his party tells him to. But I think everyone in this district who needs access to healthcare should have it. And everyone in this district who is a part of the public school system should have the resources that they need. And everyone who needs access to fair and affordable housing should have that, regardless of your political party. So my name is Eli Woody. It is House District 33. If you know anyone in any of those regions, or you want to grab one of these cards or stop and talk to me, happy to chat. Thank you. Not running for a school board position, but I'm running for State House, and I'm a former teacher. Part of that question spoke to absenteeism, and I think we need to spend more time digging into why students are absent so frequently. We spend a lot of time saying kids these days, or hearing people say kids these days. But what I learned in my time as a teacher is that we need to listen to kids more these days. I'll give you an example. I taught high school English and speech and debate, and one of my speech and debate kids was in both English for me and speech and debate. And he was gone all the time, absent all the time. He worked really hard when he was in class, had awful grades across the board in pretty much every class, but when he was there, he was great. He struggled with absenteeism. After finally about a week and a half off and on of being gone, he showed up and he said, "Hey, Mr. Woody, I'm sorry that I've been gone so much. My mom lost our house. We've been staying in and out of some hotels. Life has been really hard for me." And the other day, one night, it was like 2 a.m., and I was out weaving, walking in between cars, out in traffic, just hoping that God took me. There are reasons why kids aren't showing up, and we can't just point our finger at them and tell them to show the hell up in class. We need to listen to them. We need to listen to their parents, because we need to rebuild our schools and rebuild our public education system for what fits them best in 2024. It is not built to fit them right now. I love that we have brought back the communication requirement for graduation. I think our kids need better communication skills for whatever they do after high school, because it might not even be college, but they need to be able to speak and write proficiently after high school. But we need to listen to kids and parents and then bring them to the table and make decisions together.
Thank you.
20 seconds, I promise.
To another question, go ahead.
I'm really close friends with Janelle Hill, who used to teach speech and debate at Sumner Academy. There are a lot of people like this man at the far left end of this table who have a lot of comments and input on what's happening in public education, but don't actually know what's happening in public education. The reason why Sumner Academy is so strong at its foundation is because of programs like speech and debate, where kids learn how to do objective research, learn critical thinking skills, and learn how to present in a way that prepares them for life after high school. They may not like that we are building critical thinking skills, because then we might learn what Republicans are actually up to these days. But Sumner Academy is built on a foundation of critical thinking, and that's what we need more of in public schools.
May I respond?
reason why this has become more frequently discussed in the past 2 years, and it's because it's been on Fox News so frequently, and that's on purpose, because they want us to be spending more time getting angry about things like this, because then we don't have time to talk about why wages are so low and the cost of things is skyrocketing, or why there aren't enough affordable houses, or what's actually wrong with public education, and why students can't write a 5-paragraph essay after trying to do so 4 years in a row in high school. The reason why we're talking about this is because Fox News, who has lost millions of dollars for misinformation lawsuits, makes money off of people's anger. And so when they get us angry about things like this, we avoid the actual real topics that are facing working class Kansans every day. So people can rage bait and say things like, "there are two," and completely avoid the nuances of the conversation and nuances of more important conversations that we are avoiding talking about.
Thank you.
Get in, it will turn into a big leak over time. So discounting my statement that there are two is reprehensible. There are two sexes, and if we allow people to affirm by harming children and women and men to try to become the other sex, you are abusing them.
I'm the one black person sitting up here right now, and real quick, when I talk to other black people in my family or in my district or around Kansas, they're concerned about their wages. And they're concerned about the rent being too high. And they're concerned about taxes being too high. And they're concerned about schools crumbling. And they're concerned about their kids. That's what we, as black people, are concerned about. We are not concerned about being replaced.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy. All right, are there any other questions from the audience? I haven't received any other cards. Will you support a mandate to remove or restrict cell phone use or presence in classrooms?
In the last 4 years, I think we're finding that out now.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Mr. Woody?
So one of the great things I learned in public education was freshman year English, where you get taken to the library and you learn how to do research, and the librarian talks to you about different types of research and different types of evidence, that there is anecdotal evidence and there's empirical evidence, and both are valid, but sometimes one should weigh more than others. Sometimes one should weigh more than the other. No one's personal experience is invalid, but if there is stacks of literature and stacks of evidence and stacks of research that suggests one thing, we should listen to that. Everyone has an opinion, but not everyone's opinion should weigh the same. You don't want my opinion on what you should do with your car. I have one. I have an opinion, but my degrees are in English and communication. You don't want me working on your car. So having an opinion is fine, but we should trust the people who have done the research on specific things. Research is important because what that means is if you have elected officials who rely on research, you can trust them because they're going to be making decisions based on fact and empirical evidence rather than just off the cuff.
Thank you.
33, so even if you're not in KCK around the Legends, Bonner Springs, Edwardsville, or Turner, leave here tonight and tell someone you know there about this campaign. I would apologize for getting a little bit heated and fired up, but I'm not sorry. I've played sports my entire life, and there are a few things I don't play about. I don't play about my family, I don't play about my kids in the classroom, and I don't play about my community. And so I will always speak directly and honestly and clearly and transparently because I think that's what you deserve. And I think that's what Kansans deserve. Because we have a representative right now named Mike Thompson who is doing the opposite. He will give you a great smile and shake your hand firmly, but then be not a nice person with his votes in the state house. And you deserve better. And in the house that the Lord built, where we read about a man who constantly helped at any opportunity that he could give help, you need representatives who also help those who are in need anytime they're given the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.